Alright, so this is an introductory video to let you guys know who I am, where I'm going, how to get here, those types of things, to kind of get some of those questions and answers out of the way. So I'm gonna jump right into it. I'll start off with where I'm going, like some basics, and then we'll go from there. So basically, I'm working on being a life coach as my career. I'm also working on eating healthier and just being overall healthier so that I can feel better in general. So everything I'm doing is for me, to make sure that I'm the best me that I can be. So ultimately, how did I get here? How did I decide life coaching was the thing? So years ago, about 3, maybe longer years ago, I realized, I had this thing about helping people. Like, I like to see people succeed. And if I can contribute to that success in any form of fashion, that's even better. Like, regardless of anything else, I want everybody to be successful in life. So that's definitely always a thing of mine. So, like I said, it's about 3+ years ago. But as far as documentation, I definitely know 3 years ago. I made the choice. I was like, I'm going to be a life coach. Started doing research on it, looking into different things. Where is it more popular? All of that. Found out, it is a very popular career path out in California. So 2017, I actually made the decision that I was going to move out of my house come that July. I was going to save for about a year or so, a year or less. And then once I saved, I was going to move out to California. I was going to transfer my job because I'm not a spontaneous type of person where I'm just leave everything and do that. So, I was going to be well prepared. Now, although that was my plan, did not go according to that. May of 2017, my grandmother passed. My grandmother, Rosie. She raised me. My mother was young when she had me, so my grandmother took on that role. So she raised me, to be who I am. Up until that point, I was overall always happy. I didn't always have everything I wanted. I didn't always have everything I needed. But I had love and I had, support. So I had the people in my life where it was like, I don't need nothing else, As long as I get to wake up every day, I was fine, So May 5th is when we, got the notice, she passed away at home. And it was one of the most devastating times of my life. I had never in my life felt the way I felt when that happened. And, 2017 was not the best year. It started off good because, in February I took my first trip to New York, enjoyed that, was planning on another trip back. Me and my best friend went to Georgia the following month on some random vacation type stuff. So just doing stuff, traveling, bills paid, had checks that I didn't cash because I didn't need to cash them because everything was great. And then that happened. So after that happened, that took a toll. I slept most days. Didn't go anywhere, do anything, didn't want to talk to nobody, none of that. July, we decided to have my grandma's birthday party because her birthday was August 1st, and she really wanted to do something big because it was going to be her 60th. So the last Saturday in July, it's like, let's, have something. In the process of getting things together and heading home, I got hit by somebody texting and ran the red light. So they hit me, messed up my car is out of commission. A week later, I get hit by a lady who was merging over as I was passing her. So, not the best year. And then I had to fight with the insurance company to even get my car fixed. They finally fixed that. Then within like a couple days of me having my car back home, the window got busted out. Somebody bust out my window. So I'm like, that's insane. So, that happened. Then that was the year of Hurricane Irma. So I usually always stay home. Now, I usually always stay home. So I decided, I was just going to stay home and, ride it out. Because, I'm a Floridian. That's what we do. So don't get me wrong. Earlier that day, when the hurricane was set to come through here, I had this tree in the front yard and I had this tree on the side of the house. The tree in the front yard was leaning. So I was like, if anything happens, that tree is liable to fall down. So fast forward to later that night in the house, watching TV in the bed. The lights go out. So I'm like, all right, cool. That's normal. So then I get a phone call and my daddy's like, oh, go in the hallway and whatnot. So I'm like, all right, cool. I'll go in the hallway. Got a blow up mattress, put in the hallway, got all my stuff together. So I'm like, cool. And within 30 seconds of me laying down, I hear something, boom. I jump up. I run to the window in the living room, look out. Can't really see anything because it's dark. And in that moment, I had, an anxiety attack. Started panicking, couldn't breathe. I got everybody calling me, from my sister, my mama, my auntie, my daddy, my brothers, everybody calling me all at once. And the reason for the anxiety attack was, in that moment, I realized, without even seeing it, I realized the tree on the side of the house fell. And it fell on the house. More specifically, it fell on the garage. When it fell on the garage, my car was in there, the same one that was in the accident. So, me realizing what was happening and feeling sort of like I'm losing everything, even though these are material things, having my own still gave me some sort of peace where I could, be there and deal with and grieve with losing my grandma. So realizing that I'm losing that stuff and feeling like I'm losing a grip on life, that took a huge toll. And I sat in my hallway and cried for I don't know how long. And eventually I left and went to my mother's house. So moving on from that, and, in the midst of all of this, even before that happened, I'm having to deal with work. So trying to grieve and deal with work and having to stick to what they require of me. You have to be to work at this time. You can't take break at this time. You can't do this at this time. All of that was taking a toll on me. So fast forward, I eventually requested at work to be moved somewhere else because I was like, at the end of the day, my peace of mind is more important. Granted, still have to follow the same rules, but I had a more understanding supervisor. So it made life a little bit easier. So fast forward to 18, it was November, actually. No, October. Well, even before that, because I always try to find the reason and the something in everything that I do, because I'm like, everything has to have a purpose for why it happens. And I felt like, I didn't just lose my grandmother just to lose her, So at some point, I was like, throughout life, I've always been happy. So with that, it's a situation where it's like, how can you be a life coach and try to help other people if you've never truly been through anything? So, I eventually got to a point where, that was my thing. I was like, this has to be the reason, stuff like that. So, October, of 18, I realized, I was like, there's got to be a reason why I feel the way I feel, because I've never felt this way and I've never dealt with these things. And I did some online tests, stuff like that, and eventually I went to see a therapist. And I did get diagnosed with depression, anxiety, and what was the other one? Adjustment disorder. So I got diagnosed with all three of those at the same time. So, realizing that it wasn't, just all in my head as far as how I was feeling and the constant feeling like I just want to cry at work, it made me feel good that I was able to recognize that and go get help. So, I did that, went to therapy, tried stuff on my own. I tried pills, stuff like that they prescribed to me to help with the depression and anxiety. It worked. But life happens. And in that time, not only was I, or did I develop depression and anxiety, I also started eating. My eating habits got terrible, so to say. So with that happening, I gained a lot of weight. I had lost weight prior to that, so I was down to a decent size. But after that, after losing my grandma, I gained a lot of weight because I used to eat, be in the bed, eat, be in the bed. That was basically it. So gained a lot of weight, did all that. So that basically brings me to where I'm at today. I actually got fired from my job, which I wasn't mad at it. Like, when it happened, like, I laughed and joked all the way down to HR, because I'm like, this is what I wanted. I did not want to be at this job by the time summer was over, so I was cool with that. I was actually able to pay up my big bills, my important bills, for the next like 3 to 6 months or something like that. So that was cool. I was able to do that. And then now it also gives me time to focus more on building my career and working on myself at the same time. So, that's who I am. Like, I went through a lot these last 2 years, but, it definitely broke me down to the core, to the point where I had to rebuild myself back up. But it didn't take away the fact that I know what I want to do with life. I know what I'm supposed to do with life. And this vlog is the first step to, holding myself accountable and documenting me reclaiming my life and, doing all of that. So, I just wanted to, I know this is, kind of long. Not that long, but I just wanted to at least introduce myself, let you know who I am, where I was, where I'm going, why, all of that, to make sure that it's understood as far as what each video is focusing on, because I may not always mention it. So I just want to make sure that it's understood where I'm going, why I'm going there. But yeah, so I appreciate you for watching. Subscribe, like, comment. If you have any questions, I'll be more than happy to answer, regardless of what the question may be about, because I know we all need somebody to talk to. So that's definitely going to be a biggie, so I'm available whenever. See you guys later.